It's that time of year, y'all. Hello, welcome to the video. If you're new, my name is Charlotte and I'm a former F1 international student here in America. Former because I did end up getting my permanent residency, but I have been through the process of getting a visa, so I know the ins and outs of being an international student here in America, so let's talk about it. This video will be focused on everything I did to prepare for my F1 visa interview, and I will also be just sharing some general advice. If you want to know what documents and specific things to bring to your F1 student visa interview, I have made a video where I went into detail about all of that, and I will link that in the description below so you can go ahead and watch that. Let's begin. Let's talk about the importance of declaring a major long before you apply to any American university. The reason why it's so important to declare a major long before applying to any university and going to your interview is because the immigration officer at your interview has to make sure that you are serious about your education, and that is the only reason why you're going to America. If they think you want to study in America just to be there for the culture, they're probably not going to give you a visa. This is because they're going to be worried that you're going to try to immigrate illegally and stay in the country after your visa expires. So your job at the interview is to convince the immigration officer that you are going to America solely for the purpose of studying. The second tip is to research the university that you've been admitted to. During your interview, your immigration officer might ask you why you have decided to study at this specific university. Why couldn't you just study in your home country? What's up with this university that makes it so special? Now, you want to be prepared for this answer. For example, if this applies to your university, you can say, there are great research opportunities for undergraduate students. This university has one of the best computer science programs in the nation, and the school is known for their incredible faculty. You basically only want to talk about educational benefits. The third thing I want to talk about is ties to your home country. Like I said, you want to convince the officer that you are going to America only for education purposes. So it's your job to convince the immigration officer that you're going to America to study and that you will be returning to your home country after your visa expires. This can be done by creating strong ties to your home country. A few examples of this include family, property, a significant other, a job opportunity, etc. So let's go into each of these categories and explore it a little bit. When talking about family, you can mention that you want to study in America so you can get a high quality education, so when you come back, you can provide for your family. You can also say that you want to be a doctor or a lawyer to follow in your mother's footsteps. Immigration officers love sap stories. Let's talk about property. If you own property in your home country, this is a major benefit. Obviously, not everyone's going to own property, but if you do own property, you're probably going to be guaranteed a visa. Even if you just own a car and not a house, this would be really beneficial to bring documentation of. So if you do own a car in your home country, that could be a pretty strong tie to wanting to go back. If you have a significant other in your home country, this would be a great thing to casually bring up during your interview. Especially if you own or rent property with them, you show the immigration officer that you are serious about your life back home. The last thing in this category that I want to talk about are job opportunities. This might be the most valuable tie anybody can have at a visa interview. What I mean by a job opportunity is maybe your current job has sponsored a study abroad for you and that's why you're going, and obviously this would pretty much guarantee you a visa because you are going there for your current job and then returning with your bachelor's or master's or doctorate degree. This could also mean having a job lined up after graduation. Maybe you have a family business, or maybe you already have a job offer that requires you to take a few courses or get a degree in America. Any documentation you can bring on this would be highly beneficial. A last and final tip I want to talk about is the importance of smiling. This might seem a little bit weird, but I promise you it is so helpful. Smiling was something that other people had told me to do as a tip before I went in for my interview, and I really didn't understand what they meant by that because it seemed so normal and casual, but it really is important. By smiling to the immigration officer, I kind of de-escalated the situation in my head. Suddenly they weren't this big, strong, scary authority figure, but they were a human when I smiled to them and they smiled back to me. Smiling also shows that you're not nervous. So that's also a huge bonus. Before I wrap up the video, I want to give a few examples of what not to say during your visa interview when asked why you want to study in America. So why do you want to study in America? Oh, the university is so close to Dodger Stadium and I love baseball. My friend, girlfriend, or family member lives in the area. It's a known party school and I love partying. I always wanted to live in America. I want to make friends. I want to find love. All of these things make it sound like you only want to study in America to live there for the culture. And that might make the officer think that you're going to want to stay after graduation illegally. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many ways you can stay after graduation. I'm living proof of this. My visa is expired and I'm still here thriving in America. But this is not something that you want to mention during your interview. During your interview, you are fully prepared to go back home. You are not going to want to mention wanting to live in America after graduation. You're not going to want to mention OPT or work visas or anything like that. You want to convince the immigration officer that you are only interested in America for the high quality education and that you plan on taking your degree back to your home country and working there. If you are genuinely preparing for your visa interview, I can feel your anxiety through the screen. It's a very daunting process and this is probably the most stressed out I have ever been in my life, to be honest with you. But please don't let that discourage you. In fact, my insane level of preparation gave me a lot of comfort during my interview. I was actually well over prepared because if you've seen my video on my interview and how it went, you would know that my interview took less than 30 seconds. I realized I was lucky in my situation though because I have heard interviews go on for 10 plus minutes. And to be honest, it kind of feels like your interview solely depends on which officer you get and how their day is going. But if you really are preparing for your interview, please leave a comment and tell me when your interview is, which country you're from, and please update me when you're done because I would love to hear about your experience, and I'm sure people in the comments would love the reassurance as well. As always, if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask, and like the video, subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.